says you need a vacation for a view like this? Or, I wish there was a place to get in shape. Try getting on the beaten path. Discover an ever-expanding network of trails and greenways. Some quintessential Southern beauty. Or romp through the woods in a magical land between the rivers. There's more to explore than you ever imagined. Beyond the swing sets. Breck, we are more than a playground.
Hi, business owners. Phase 3. Woohoo! But do your customers know you're back? Well, that's where the Clarence Bugg Show and Pelican Broadcasting can help. Right now, we've got great rates on advertising packages to help you get the word out. Shoot me an email at bugsclarence@gmail.com. Or better yet, call me up. I'd love to talk with you. 225-485-6839. Let's get together and make Phase 3 the best it can possibly be.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Getting a letter from the IRS that you owe back taxes can be scary, but it doesn't have to be. Call Go Tax Resolution in Lafayette at 337-420-1040 today. We'll help stop garnishments, levies, and seizures immediately. With over 35 years of dealing directly with the IRS, our team of local professionals will help you pay the least amount possible. So if you owe back taxes to the IRS, you need help. Call the tax professionals at Go Tax Resolution in Lafayette at 337-420-1040. Your go-to tax relief.
Hello and welcome to week 6 of the Roger Cador Show. Clarence Buggs along with the coach, Roger Cador. Hot enough for you out there, Coach?
It's hot. It's hotter in the Baton Rouge, though, on the north end and the south end than where we are.
Well, I think it's probably a whole lot hotter on the north end than it is on the south end. But that's a different show for a different day. LSU dropping another SEC conference game, this time to a team that traditionally you didn't give a whole lot of respect to. And I know what you're going to say, Clarence, it's an SEC team. And the biggest mistake you can make is not to respect an SEC team in an SEC game. But outside of the University of Kentucky, I think most Tiger fans were of the opinion, one of two camps, either, oh Lord, these guys are on a roll, we in trouble. Or if there's anybody that we can beat, if we have a realistic chance of beating and getting our stride back, getting our groove back, it's going to be this game. That was not the case.
Well, I don't think LSU is in any position to start taking people for granted.
Oh, definitely not.
I mean, I got to think that they got to, through all of that, the days of practice preparing for any game, they've got to say we've got to play our very best just to have a chance to be successful.
Once again, tackling and defensive issues hurt them badly.
Well, if you don't tackle well, it's going to hurt you because we've mentioned on this show many times, defense is what's going to propel you.
Yep.
If you can play good defense, you got a chance.
And yards after catch or yards after initial contact, after a while, it takes a toll on a team, on a defense.
Oh, yes, it does. And they have so many injuries to go on top of that. So you're playing with some kids, too many plays. They may have been playing during the course of the season, but you don't want them, if they play 10 plays a game, now they're playing 30 and 40 plays a game.
Right.
That's when the drop-off occurs.
We have highlights from this SEC encounter, so if you all in the truck will be so kind as we continue our conversation, you can roll those highlights whenever you get ready. Looking at the stat line, Coach, when you give up 333 yards in rushing, it's going to be a long day.
Well, most of the time it will. And in this case, it certainly was. So we're waiting on the highlights. I guess Allen is playing around, trying to get it done.
Blame it on the white guy out in the truck. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, Al.
At 35-7 in the fourth quarter, I can't say it any other way. That's embarrassing, Coach. I mean, it is what it is, but that's embarrassing.
Well, people are expecting them to win. So, yes, it is embarrassing when you look at it from that standpoint, but it is what it is. I think, this team we knew had issues going into the season.
Yeah.
And it's showing up big time right now.
What does your gut tell you as we get the highlights here? Is Kentucky that good, or, as you mentioned, are LSU's issues that significant?
Well, Kentucky is not bad. They are pretty good. That's why they're undefeated in the SEC.
Well, yeah.
So that tells me something. And LSU has just got some spotty situation that exists, and they've been able to been taken advantage of by other teams.
Yeah, and you've got to imagine in the age of trading film for every upcoming opponent, and I don't know if the regulations have changed or not, but typically it's game film from your 2 prior games. You got to think the word is out on how to beat LSU. And unless and until you make those adjustments, you're going to see the same thing week after week after week.
Can you imagine you used the old term, well, years ago, they used to trade film.
Right.
They had to send them.
Right.
But I don't think that exists anymore today.
Oh, no, not in that
With
regard.
technology the way it is.
Yeah. Well, what I meant was how many games you get access to.
Oh, you got them all.
With the internet age these days, you get them all.
Get them all. That's what I was saying. It took me back when you say trade.
Right.
That's what I remember you said.
Yeah.
But I think certainly that's what defensive coordinators and offensive coordinators, they look at when they're breaking the film down to present it to the kids. They have all of the weaknesses and strong points, and that's what they show.
You know, it's troubling to Tiger fans, and I don't want to go so far as to say it's a, quote, trend, but they start out, particularly first, second offensive series, showing what we expect, what we hope, what we anticipate, but then it goes downhill after that.
Well, you know, they did something that they had not done all year. They ran the ball really good.
Right.
Price did a really good job running the ball. So that was a really big plus because one of the things Coach O talked about was that they wanted to do a better job running the ball.
Well, they had to. I mean, they were second to last in the SEC. You have no choice but to get better in that regard.
Yeah. And they went out and ran it. And so it tells me Kentucky was, even though they didn't stop the run the way we wanted them to, I mean, we don't want them to ever stop it. I'm sorry.
Right.
But what I think is that, this is where Butte got hurt.
Yeah, that's adding insult to
Yeah, and that's a big hit. But, LSU really did a good job. That offensive line, they made a marked improvement. You got to tap them on the shoulder and say, boys, let's keep getting better.
Once again, and I've got to imagine that this was a result of looking at the previous game. Once again, a mobile quarterback gave the defense fits.
Mobile quarterback's going to give everybody fits.
Yeah.
Even Alabama, they'll give them fits. That's the one player that gives Alabama trouble is the mobility of the quarterback. It goes all the way back to Johnny Manziel when they beat him. Yeah. If you're mobile, you're able to give them trouble.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to prepare your team for some of the things that are going to take place. You just can't prepare for it.
Yeah. But now, at the same time, what do you say to the fan that says, Coach, I understand that, But what happened to in-game adjustments to handle that?
You need athletes to do that.
You got to have the Joes to execute the X's.
You got to
and O's.
have them to do it. That's,
Yeah.
I mean, and obviously something ain't happening there.
Mm-hmm.
But that's how you make in-game adjustment with your athletes.
Now, the downside to that, the avid, ardent LSU fans are going to say, well, wait a minute now, Roger, I understand that, but we've had a top 5 recruiting class how many years in a row?
On paper.
Well, yeah, that is true.
And you see what happens many times, teams go out and get athletes.
True, especially with the transfer portal now.
Well,
and
let me
all
make
of
sure
that.
you understand what I mean.
Okay.
They get what you call athletes. And athletes doesn't really go, maybe you need big defensive linemen, offensive linemen.
Right.
Well, those athletes are somewhere else. The athletes are linebackers, cornerbacks, wide receiver. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And so you watch teams that signs athletes.
Right.
My thing is, go sign you a bunch of them big old defensive linemen,
Right.
offensive linemen. Normally, you're going to end up being pretty good in a couple of years.
Right.
And those are the people you're not going to get a top 5 recruiting class with because they are not what people consider great athletes.
Right.
They're
Right.
just going to be guys that's going to get better as the year goes along, and you win with them.
42-21 final score.
Double.
But ironically, and I'm glad you said that, ironically, Kentucky only had 67 more yards of offense than LSU, but they doubled our scoring output.
Yeah, but it had to be some turnover. Was it turnover margin? Or they scored every time they got in the red zone. Or they played with a short field. A lot of things have to go into how they only had. You got me?
Yeah.
So I'm going to think they maybe had a score on the turnover, short field,
Right.
red zone, they scored.
Penalties.
Penalties, yeah.
Yeah.
All of those contribute to helping the team or hurting them.
UK, obviously, they're on a roll right now, having defeated Florida, top 25 ranked team, having defeated LSU. Are they going to be brought back to reality this weekend when they take on the now number 1 ranked Georgia Bulldogs?
If I was a betting man, I would think Georgia's going to really beat them.
Yeah.
Georgia is really good.
Oh, they're a beast.
I like Georgia.
They're a beast.
And I tell you, Kirby Smart has done a really good job over there. Nick Saban has been in his way. But
Right.
this year, Nicky, you better watch for Kirby. He's coming after you.
Yeah. The road, unfortunately, for LSU does not get any easier this weekend. Florida Gators coming to Tiger Stadium.
And they play at 11 o'clock.
And it's a day game. Yeah.
Not good.
Not good.
Well, the good thing about it, Clarence, let's face it, there'll be some people can't have a lot of cocktail before the game starts. The 7 o'clock game with the cocktail.
Right.
Make it a
You
little
got
tough
all
on
day.
Baby.
Yeah.
Baby, they'll be tough on you by the time 7 o'clock comes.
Yeah. Max Johnson, respectable outing, throwing for 261 yards. Of course, now, when you're always behind, it kind of puts you in the position of having to throw the ball.
Yeah. Remember, he had been throwing for over 300 yards previously. So,
Right.
It is what it is. Clarence, if you're going to win in that SEC, you have to be more balanced to be consistent to win.
And you got to run the ball
You
to
got
be
to
able
run.
to throw the ball.
That's why I meant to have balance. You can't just pass,
Right.
or run.
Right.
That's where balance come in. If you're going to run 60 plays, you could run 20 and do 40 throws.
Right.
Or run 40 and do 20 throws.
Right.
Either way you go, you got to have some
Yeah, a
close-
35-25. There's some
that's
semblance of
ideal.
balance.
Yeah, that's ideal. But, you want to have something that's close.
What does your gut tell you? And I know from experience that as a coach, you developed, I'm sure, early in your career, not putting more credence than need be on the street committee. But now, understanding LSU fans being LSU fans, how long does your gut tell you before they become super, super vocal about this season and the outcome so far?
Well, they've been doing it. They just have been in a shelter. They've been doing it.
Yeah.
But I think they're coming out. If Florida get beats them, then they got Arkansas.
You got Ole Miss, you got Arkansas,
Texas A&M.
you got A&M.
Oh, just so much. It's just so much with the injuries. And the thing I want to say to the fans is, we got student athletes who are trying. And it's a bad situation.
Yeah.
It's just not a good situation.
Yeah. And don't for 1 second think that the young men wearing those uniforms are okay with their performance today.
Right, they're trying. They just can't win.
Yeah.
I mean, they ain't good enough to beat those teams.
Well, excuse me. Unfortunately, the outcome for purple and gold was the same for blue and gold. We'll talk about that when we come back for segment 2 of today's edition of the Roger Cador Show. Stay close.
Oh, Clarence.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Hey, Coach Roger Cador here. There's something about teamwork that brings the best out in any business. When I need a tow, I call Roadrunner Towing. Roadrunner's 4 generations strong and homegrown right here in Baton Rouge.
Thanks, Coach. There's no job too large or too small. Call Roadrunner for quick, reliable, exceptional service. We don't want an arm and a leg, we just want your toes. And remember, take time each day to be a blessing to someone. Thank you.
Looking to get some keys made, locks rekeyed, or a wide variety of new and used safe? Then look no further than the trusted choice of Alfred Safe and Lock. Conveniently located off of Government Street in Mid-City, Baton Rouge. Trust the expert locksmith at Alfred for all of your residential, commercial, and industrial lock and safe needs. Trusted by Baton Rouge and me, Roger Cador, to protect what is yours since 1946.
Some Baton Rouge business travelers travel out of Baton Rouge. Some don't. The ones that do know BTR is all about being closer, more convenient, with non-stops and short hops to anywhere their business takes them. They also know not flying BTR means more traffic, longer lines, and wasted time. So if it's about going from driveway to runway with a lot less highway, isn't it about time you flew BTR? Baton Rouge Metro Airport. It's about time.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
Welcome back for segment 2 of the Roger Cador Show. That's doing his, remember the old Johnny Carson days? Here's Roger.
I'm waiting for them to do it for me.
We shift gears and move from south side of town to north side of town. And you and I talked about this last week. Jaguars had won 9 in a row over Texas Southern. But obviously, Texas Southern didn't care about all that, Coach.
Well, they don't. And this is why I was cautioning you about it, because so many times people do look at that.
Right.
But in reality, it really doesn't mean a thing. And we got a new coach. I mean, it's just to me, athletic competition is a unique situation.
It's one thing to talk about the fact that you had beaten a conference rival 9 years in a row. But every time you step on the field, I call it the Janet Jackson syndrome. What have you done for me lately?
That's right. Well, LSU had beaten Auburn in Baton Rouge every year since
Great point.
99, right?
Great point.
And, so it's just, I'd say to people, don't worry about all of that. Let's just play the game first.
Rivalries aside, conference affiliation aside, this was the first SWAC win for third-year head coach Clarence McKinney. You got to feel good for the guy, if nothing else, in that regard.
Oh, yeah, you certainly have to. And with some of the information you gave me prior to the show today about the appeal against the appeal,
Right.
was really something to be.
Yeah.
And he won that way, So, it is what it is. Now Southern's got to regroup and do they play Arkansas this week?
Road doesn't get any easier. They got to hit the road and take on the Golden Lions of UAPB.
Yeah,
in their place.
Yeah, at their place, and then you got Alcorn looking somewhere down the road, and you got Prairie View,
Yep.
and you got one of the Alabama schools,
Yep.
and you got Jackson State. Oh my goodness!
So let's roll the highlights from Arlington, Texas, as we continue our conversation. This was not, and I guess I'm going to date myself when I say this, but I am who I am. I make no bones about it. When I think of Southern football, one of the first things that comes to mind are the glory days of the Dog Day defense. This was not what we've come to expect. When you give up 338 yards in the air, 238 on the ground, for a total of 576 yards.
No, it was more like the Kitten Day defense. It was not Dog Day.
The Puppy Day.
Puppy Day, yeah. But you know what, Clarence? It starts with, who are the players they're able to get,
Right.
I mean, you can see, we know Arkansas, Pine Bluff got some good players. That's why they were in it last year.
Right.
We know Jackson State has upgraded their talent.
Oh, yeah.
That's why they went into Alabama A&M
and beat the brakes off them, slaughtered them. That's right.
And it's about talent. And and I think the coach probably needs to upgrade his talent in order to enjoy some success.
Now,
they run the ball really good.
Yeah.
But they can't stop the other people on the other side.
That was going to be the next question. You're talking about in Texas Southern, a team that had lost 16 straight conference games. And from a conventional wisdom standpoint, as successful as Southern has been in recent memory, as opposed to Texas Southern's record in recent memory, traditional wisdom says you should be able to recruit the caliber of athlete, even at that level, to take care of a Texas Southern.
Yeah, but Coach Odom is gone too now, Clarence.
Good point.
It's about the coaching too.
Good
I don't
point.
know anything about this coach, Southern High.
Coach Rollins, yeah.
I don't know anything about Coach Rollins. He doesn't have a blueprint that we could go look at.
Yeah.
You got me?
Yeah.
But Coach Odom had a blueprint. And we knew that they were going to play defense. We knew that they were going to eliminate some mistakes that they're making.
Right.
So he had that blueprint.
Football is a funny game, is it not? I mean, you as Southern, you total 529 yards total offense. You put 31 points on the board. Normally, you expect to come away with a W, do you not?
That's a lot of offense. And balance on top of that.
Right.
That's what makes it so difficult.
Right.
It's pretty balanced. I think I'm coming away with a win. I'm coming away with a win if we have that many yardage.
Yeah, and that many points to go along as well.
Yeah.
And to the Jaguars' credit, got to give them credit. It was a back and forth game. TSU take the lead, Southern take the lead, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, the entire game.
Yeah.
But they continued to battle throughout the entire game. That's what you want out of a team, correct?
You want that. Now you got to find a way to win. because they could have won the McNeese game. They could have won this game. You know, those two games that they should have won.
Yeah.
You know, those you know, and you know, it becomes habit forming. Just like winning becomes habit forming, losing becomes contagious.
Now, you who was it? The late great Vince Lombardi said, "Winning is a habit, but so is losing."
Yes, it is.
Yeah. This early in conference play, it stings. It hurts to lose control of your own destiny, doesn't it?
You say it's early. A loss.
Well, you're 1-1 in conference.
Okay,
But now you've got to depend on somebody else to handle the business that you didn't handle. That's tough.
Well, you got to
early in the
beat all the
season.
other people in front of you.
And hope other people give you some help and lose.
Yeah, because the people behind you, Texas Southern ain't going to win the conference.
No.
So you got to beat the people in front of you.
Right.
Okay, so you ain't
and hope somebody in front of you beats somebody else in front of you.
Which I think will, because there's so much balance now with Alcorn over in the West.
Over in the West now.
And Grambling and Arkansas and Southern and Prairie View. You got teams that can knock each other's off.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It was somewhat disheartening, and I can hear Jaguar fans hollering through the television. I can hear them right now. I hear them right now. They're saying, yeah, but Clarence and Coach, you got to realize the officiating on that 4th and inches cost us the game. Well, wait a minute before we get to that point. We missed 2 field goals.
That hurt.
And had we knocked those down, it never would have come to that. So I don't know if there's any validity to that at all. But at the end of the day, you never want to see officials become anything other than invisible. They're not supposed to be a part of the game.
Right. You don't want, boy, I agree with you. I never heard it put that way, being invisible.
Yeah.
But you don't want them, when you don't know the officials is a part of the game, then it's harder in football because they have to touch the ball for them to be invisible.
Right.
You know, and they got to touch the ball after every play.
Yeah.
After every play.
Right.
So it's a little harder, but when they're not talking about the officials. The officials are just doing their job.
At the end of the day, I want to leave a game and never know the officials were there.
Yeah.
I mean, other than calling penalties when obviously they should call a penalty. But as far as influencing the outcome of a game, and I guess what stings most for a lot of fans in the Southwestern Athletic Conference, it's no secret. It's no earth-shaking revelation here. We suffered through years of subpar officiating. And we had finally gotten all of that out of the way. We'd go to a game, and all we would talk about after the game was over was the 2 teams on the field. I'm hoping that this will be an isolated incident, and we don't find ourselves talking as much about officiating as we do about the 2 teams on the field.
Yeah, and let me just say this. I know the SWAC and black schools in particular get beat up about officials, but let me tell you something. I played against some white schools where the official was terrible.
Oh, yeah.
And nobody gets to
they
don't talk about it.
Now.
Yeah, well, sometimes people make it.
Right.
You got to watch it because I'm telling you, I've seen when they were just terrible. They did some ugly things to influence the game.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that was time I hated to take my team. I'm going to give a case in point. I can talk about it. Tulane.
Okay.
In 1988,
Okay.
we played, and the official was so bad.
Right.
We've got a chance to beat Tulane. It's late in the game.
Right.
We got the lead. And that guy refused to call a strike. So I go out to the pitcher. My pitcher's almost crying. And I didn't say nothing. I said, son, it ain't you.
Right.
It's that man behind it. And I waited until he came out to the mound, and I said, it's people like you who caused these young men like here to go out and hurt innocent people.
Wow.
Because of the things you're doing,
Right.
they're going to hurt somebody.
Wow.
Just remember, and the person that hurt could be one of your family members.
Yeah.
Get your butt behind there and do the right thing. Walk off the mountain.
Do the right thing.
Do the right thing.
At the end of the day, do the right thing should be all that matters.
All that matters, man. And I tell you, I've heard some stories even worse than that.
Wow.
But
Now-
the president at Grambling was the best at it.
Uh-huh.
And the players used to say, well, this man must not be a Christian if he's doing
Right.
this. He
Right.
can't be a Christian.
Wow.
He wouldn't say anything negative to the official.
Right.
All he would tell his player, this man must not be a Christian.
Wow.
Isn't that beautiful?
At the end of the day, doing the right thing is supposed to be first and foremost. Now, if you are in the market for a new or a used motorcycle, ATV, side-by-side, do the right thing and go see our friends at Outdoor Powerhouse, 2323 Florida Boulevard. You talk about folks that know how to deal with Louisiana folks. Listen, Kawasaki, Suzuki, Sea-Doo, Can-Am, Polaris, whatever your pleasure, they got you covered. Not just sales. The great thing about the folks at Outdoor Powerhouse, it's not just about getting you to buy something. They understand that here in South Louisiana, we like the sale, but more important, we like great service after the sale. If you want to do the right thing, especially as far as your money is concerned, you got to take that short drive. Go see the folks at Outdoor Powerhouse, 2323 Florida Boulevard. We'd appreciate it. Coach would consider it a personal favor, and they will be so happy to see you. You will be kicking yourself because you didn't go there first. Our newest member of the sponsorship family of the Roger Cador Show, Outdoor Powerhouse. So glad to have them on board. We'll take this quick break, come back and shift gears. We've covered purple and gold and blue and gold. Black and gold is next on this week's edition of the Roger Cador Show. Stay close.
Black gold!
Getting a letter from the IRS that you owe back taxes can be scary, but it doesn't have to be. Call Go Tax Resolution in Lafayette at 337-420-1040 today. We'll help stop garnishments, levies, and seizures immediately. With over 35 years of dealing directly with the IRS, our team of local professionals will help you pay the least amount possible. So if you owe back taxes to the IRS, you need help. Call the tax professionals at Go Tax Resolution in Lafayette at 337-420-1040. Your go-to tax relief.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with the Rocket Right Show.
We are two busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Smart Baton Rouge business travelers travel out of Baton Rouge because BTR is so close and convenient. They're always one step ahead, rather than dead on their feet. So, isn't it about time you flew BTR? Baton Rouge Metro Airport.
Who says you need a vacation for a view like this? Or, I wish there was a place to get in shape. Try getting on the beaten path. Discover an ever-expanding network of trails and greenways. Some quintessential southern beauty. Or romp through the woods in a magical land between the rivers. There's more to explore than you ever imagined. Beyond the swing sets. Breck, we are more than a playground.
Thank you.
Welcome back to this week's edition of the Roger Cador Show. Coach, we've covered our guys in purple and gold and our guys in blue and gold, so I guess it's only appropriate that we cover our guys in black and gold. And it just occurred to me, what is it about Louisiana and the color gold for sports teams? Southeastern, green and gold. McNeese, blue and gold. Grambling State, black and gold. Southern, blue and gold. Purple and gold for LSU. Black and gold for the same. What is it about the color gold with our sports teams?
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe everybody wanted to be rich. And they've got put gold in there.
Yeah, that's a different kind of gold there. Yeah. The Saints got a much-needed win, enabling them to get above 500 on the season, on the road, no less, against the Washington football team.
Yeah, Washington's not that good, especially at the quarterback position.
Wait now. You're the one always telling me these are professionals.
Well, yeah, they are professional, but they're all at the same. That's why Arizona is 5-0. You know,
yeah.
But they're all professional, but they all aren't the same level.
Talent-wise. Yeah.
But they're going to play hard.
Okay.
They come out and play every day.
Right.
Every weekend.
Right.
So, what I meant by that is that there are some teams like Jacksonville.
Right.
I mean, they're professional. They're going to beat somebody.
Oh, yeah.
But they're not the kind of team that's going to be every day in.
While they are all professionals, I guess what you're telling me, some teams are just better than other teams.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. There was a huge play right before the half that, and again, one play never makes a game. But for me, that play right before the half, when Jameis Winston uncorked that Hail Mary for 49 yards to Marquez Callaway, that was huge, Coach.
And he does well when he throws Hail Marys. He does pretty good at doing that. But yeah, that was a big play. And it was no time left, right on the clock.
Right. That was his time expired at the half.
That really was a big play. And we got to look for improvement. Now, we know Hill got hurt.
Right, Taysom.
Yeah, had a concussion, right?
Yeah, concussion.
And so we'll see how that develops and when they're going to get Michael Thomas back and play a little better defense.
Can you put a dollar value on the momentum and the psychological advantage to a team when you know you're heading into the locker room for the break and you come up with a 49-yard pass for a touchdown?
No, you can't. It's always a big morale booster.
Right.
It helps with what the coach have to say, making adjustments. And but no, that's big. That was huge.
Kind of like when you know your starting pitcher has exceeded the pitch count. He's not coming back for the next inning. You know your closer's coming in. He's a little bit sketchy, and a guy hits a grand slam for you.
Give you some cushion.
Yeah. Well, we have highlights in the truck from the trip to our nation's capital, so we will roll those highlights as we continue our conversation. Jameis Winston, 4 touchdown passes. 1 we watch right there.
Yeah.
That made for a good passing day for the second-year quarterback.
Yeah, he. I tell you, I think Winston is going to be okay. He's learning Peyton's system. And he's going to do well. And when he gets all of the people back, in place, there's no telling what he's going to do.
Yeah, that was obviously a big-time busted coverage there. But sometimes you got to take it any way you can get it. And I'm sure he wouldn't complain about that.
No, never going to complain.
You mentioned how Jameis appears to be, quote, learning the system more. I think just as important as him learning the system is that he's learning to play within himself.
Oh, I'll agree with you on that too. He learning that. See, now, before he was just using his talent to do that.
He had to make something.
Yeah, right. Now he's in a much better structure with team.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have to make it all happen by himself.
Yeah. That's got to be psychologically an immense load off your mind But it's probably also kind of tough to shed that mindset when you spent so many years thinking and believing to yourself that you have to carry this load and you're expected to do that. A lot of guys, you kind of get addicted to that. It's hard to shed that and share that with everybody else.
Yeah, I'm looking at that Hail Mary. I can't understand how Washington didn't knock that thing down. There was no need to try and intercept it.
No.
But I see it happen so many times, people try to intercept rather than just knock it down.
Alvin Kamara, really good balanced day overall, 121 yards, combining on the ground performance and in the air performance.
Yeah, Kamara is really doing a good job. I was concerned with him about his health, but he's done a really good job of, maintaining health,
The Dome Patrol defense, led by Marshawn Lattimore, they played inspired defense all day long.
They really did, and I think they had 2 or 3 interceptions, and they did a really good job of falling back and double teaming when they should. It looked like pretty good zone defense that they played there.
Winston's third down.
And there's Jamie Winston. Just something simple.
And like most things in life, we as humans have this tendency to gravitate toward the glitzy things, the glamorous things. But for me, as a baby boomer, as an older guy, the simple things are always the best.
It always is. That's why I love simplicity, because everybody can be a part of something simple. When you make it difficult, then you eliminate a lot of people.
We were talking moments ago about Jameis Winston getting more comfortable in the system, learning to play more within himself. When you have a defense that plays the way the Saints played this past Sunday, it makes it a whole lot easier for you to accomplish that, doesn't it?
Oh, very. I mean, it's easy, and the Saints, I think, as they go along, they're going to continue to show marked improvement. And, the thing for them to really enjoy success is defensively. If they can hold on defensively, get better, and continue to run the ball, it's going to make it easier for Winston to pass.
And to his credit, got to tip the hat to Jameis. He bounced back well from 2 turnovers early in the game. I mean, with his history of turnovers and the like, psychologically, that could set you back. But he was able to overcome those 2 early turnovers and turn in a solid performance.
And I think it's the system that he's in. Coach Payton has put him in a good system. It's not all about you. Stay with the system.
Right.
Stay with the system. You'll be surprised when people buy into a system, how much easier things get.
You got the off week now, and then it is expected, if all goes according to plan, you get back Michael Thomas, Quan Alexander, Eric McCoy, Traquan Smith, Will Lutz. You got the potential to be a dangerous team in 2 weeks if all these guys come back.
That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people, Coach.
That's a lot.
And you're affecting just about every position on the field.
Yeah, I agree.
That could really be huge. There's something to be said, Coach, about knowing your team and knowing your system. Sean Payton was quoted early in the season when all these injuries started adding up. He was quoted as saying, when we come out of the bye after next week, if we're 3-2, we'll be in good shape. And what are they going to be? 3-2.
Well, they're off this week? Oh, wow. Yeah, that's pretty good, Sean.
Yeah.
Not bad.
I mean, he nailed it to a T. If we can come out of this after the bye at 3-2 with all the injuries we've had and we get these people back, we'll be in good shape. And sure enough, that's exactly where they stand. 3-2.
Well, coaches pretty much know their personnel. they set goals and they understand. Don't set them too high.
Right.
Set them where they are obtainable. Realistic goals,
Yeah.
and you know, so that makes it easy to understand.
It was a scary moment when Taysom Hill got concussed, and I've got to imagine Saints fans were holding their collective breaths because that's your number 2 quarterback.
Yeah.
And if this guy goes down, then it shifts everything around, because now not only are you not in a position to have your second best guy under center, but you're also talking about certain plays that you can no longer run.
That's right. And so it makes the playbook a lot different.
Yeah.
When you take it to the field.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, oh yeah, you take a lot of things out of that playbook.
And under normal circumstances, under the best of times, when you've got a Drew Brees under center,
no different.
In the vernacular of the streets, it ain't no big thing.
Yeah.
If Taysom goes down, but in this particular instance, it huge sigh of relief that it wasn't any worse than it actually was. We need to get our final break of today's show out of the way. We'll do that, and we will come back and talk more on the final segment of Week 6 of the Roger Cador Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Looking to get some keys made, locks rekeyed, or a wide variety of new and used safe? Then look no further than the trusted choice of Alfred Safe and Lock. Conveniently located off of Government Street in Mid-City, Baton Rouge. Trust the expert locksmith at Alfred for all of your residential, commercial, and industrial lock and safe needs. Trusted by Baton Rouge and me, Roger Cador, to protect what is yours since 1946. Hey, Coach Roger Cador here. There's something about teamwork that brings the best out in any business. When I need a tow, I call Roadrunner Towing. Roadrunner's 4 generations strong and homegrown right here in Baton Rouge.
Thanks, Coach. There's no job too large or too small. Call Roadrunner for quick, reliable, exceptional service. We don't want an arm and a leg. We just want your toes. And remember, take time each day to be a blessing to someone. Thank you.
Beep, beep. Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
Welcome back to the final segment of Week 6 of the Roger Cador Show. Coach, we got a lot of, I call it, for lack of a better phrase, miscellaneous things to talk about. Obviously, the number one we got to talk about, Texas A&M upsetting the number one team in the nation, the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Well, I talked about Jimbo last week.
Right.
But Jimbo looked better on the sideline this week.
He looked much more confident.
Yes.
This time.
I mean, I was concerned when I saw him the week before. But he looked more confident, and he delivered a really good game plan.
Oh, yeah.
And he delivered a victory. And I knew when that kid ran the ball back, I think to start the third or after Alabama
scored.
He ran it back. I said, we're in business here.
Yeah. That defensive game plan was a masterpiece. You got to give the defensive coordinator for A&M a ton of credit. He did his homework, and he knew how to pressure, when to pressure, where to pressure, and they were uncomfortable all night.
All day, yeah. And the other thing is, from an offensive standpoint, when number 10 got hurt and he came back in for Texas A&M,
right,
that makes a huge difference because he had no experienced quarterback.
Right.
You know,
the law of averages gives you 1 out of 10. Law of averages says whatever it is that you do, if you do it 10 times, almost guaranteed minimum, you're supposed to be successful 1 out of the 10 times. Nick Saban, going into that game, had gone up against a former assistant 24 times and had never lost. The students had never beaten the teacher out of 24 tries. I guess records are made to be broken. Everything changes. Nothing remains the same. That was monumental for the coach and the team to pull off that win.
Yeah, but before we talk about that, didn't you say Jimbo, we was asked a question a week before in a press conference?
Yeah, sure did.
And he made a statement. What did he say?
He said, we're going to beat his bleep, before he retires. The question was, is anybody going to be, any former assistant of Coach Saban, going to be able to beat him before he retires? And Jimbo didn't pull any punches, y'all. He said, we're going to beat his bleep before he retires. And sure enough, he delivered.
Yeah, and the beauty about it, he didn't say this year, which would have
right.
Those writers would have loved for him.
Oh, yes, indeed. Yes,
but he said before he retired.
Right.
He gave himself a whole latitude.
Now he may have wished he did say this year.
Yeah.
Because he'd been the genius of the whole college football world.
No, you don't want to say this year. There's too much pressure. You never want to do that.
From the SEC to the SWAC, Jackson State completely dismantling the defending SWAC champion, Alabama A&M Bulldogs, 61-15. Are things starting to come together a little bit up there in Jackson, Mississippi? Or did Alabama just have a rough day, an off game?
I couldn't believe the coach from Alabama A&M was talking the kind of talk he was talking.
Yeah, he was talking smack.
I mean, why would you even engage in that kind of stuff?
You don't give them billboard material, bulletin board material. You don't do that.
You talking about you have 5- and 4-star recruits. You go, oh my goodness, I couldn't believe that coach did that.
Yeah.
And Dion played it cool.
Yeah. And I'll be honest, I expected Dion to respond.
I love the fact he played it cool.
It looks as though he is starting to mature in the head coach role now. There was a time when Alabama A&M coach would have said that, oh, Lord have mercy, Dion would have been all on national TV.
Yeah, he wanted to win the last word. But, you know, the good thing is he said nothing and he went into Alabama A&M, Huntsville.
That's right.
And on homecoming.
That's right.
And gave a good old-fashioned spanking.
That's right. That's right. And speaking of homecoming, Alcorn beats Grambling on Grambling's homecoming. Alabama A&M schedules, and I guess maybe it's because of the hard times that the Blue Bengals had fallen on in recent memory, they schedule Jackson State for homecoming. Is this a case of, particularly with Grambling scheduling Alcorn of all people for homecoming, is this a case of, well, if you want to beat a man, you got to beat the man? Or is it poor scheduling and consideration for the alums who may only make that one game of the season? Everybody comes home for homecoming. Don't you want somebody that you pretty much know you're going to beat? You don't schedule Alcorn for homecoming, do you?
I really never understood it, why it's got to be. They needed to make some money.
Right.
Grambling did, and they make no money there.
No.
So maybe Alcorn put some fairness in the seats. Maybe.
That's possible.
Maybe. I mean, I didn't know it was homecoming.
Right. And I guess at the end of the day, you're going to have to play them anyway. You have no choice. It's not like you can dodge them.
You can't.
And again, if you want to be the man, you got to beat the man.
Listen, I used to hear people talk about that. Man, you got to play someone you can beat for homecoming. I understand that.
Right.
I understand that. But I never look at it that way. LSU obviously didn't look at it that way. They played Florida.
Right.
You know, you got to play somebody sometime that you may have to beat.
Yeah. Of course, now, I guess the other side of that coin is that if you schedule St. Mary's Sisters of the Poor for homecoming, you're going to get the win. You're going to feel good about yourself, but your attendance may well suffer because people know, you know, you play Florida, you play Georgia, you play Auburn, you play A&M, you play Ole Miss, Arkansas, Mississippi State. Those are the teams I want to see. I'm not coming out to spend hard-earned money for a game like this.
And the other thing about the Grambling and Alcorn, they ain't leaving no money in the box anyway.
Oh, no.
The donation doesn't go up if they win or don't win.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
Playing, at least maybe you make the ticket sale because you ain't getting the donation.
No.
So my whole thing is just play the best team, make a gate out of it.
Yeah.
And let it.
And again, it's not like the folks are going to spend the night in Grambling and spend
Well,
a
you
bunch
don't
of
have
money.
nowhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me. Just play the team. You can sell some tickets because they don't sell out over there.
No.
You know.
No.
So that would be my thinking.
Yeah.
You know.
Before we go, we would be remiss in our duties if we didn't acknowledge and give a tip of the hat to the folks in Hammond, Louisiana. Southeastern is the only Louisiana team that is ranked nationally. Coach Selfo, they're doing some good things with that program in Hammond. Southeastern, they're putting on a show these days.
I had no idea, but that's good to know.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah. They are the only Louisiana school that is ranked nationally in a poll. Now, obviously, they're not, same classification as LSU is, but that doesn't diminish, in my eyesight, the accomplishments that they've done. And fans are fickle and funny, just like athletes and teams can be. I saw where he was not castigating, but kind of getting on the fans. Y'all need to show up in Strawberry Stadium and support this team because they are doing some wonderful things, and those young men deserve to have the support of not just the folks in Hammond, but all the surrounding areas. If they were losing, you'd have an excuse to stay away. You can't use that excuse anymore. No, sir. Way to go, Southeastern. Way to go, Lions. That is going to wrap up Week 6 of the Roger Cador Show on behalf of the coach. And, of course, our crew in the truck, Alan Traylor, Katie True, and floor producer extraordinaire, none other than Mighty. We thank you so kindly for letting us spend a little time with you. And, of course, we look forward to seeing you next week when we bring you yet another edition of the Roger Cador Show. We'll see you then.
Good job.